of these MCQs. Okay, so we prepared question number 1. Which of the following structures is seen in a transverse cut section of thorax passing through the 5th thoracic vertebrae? Okay, have you read the question? Which of the following structures is seen in a transverse cut section of thorax passing through the 5th thoracic vertebrae? Left recurrent laryngeal nerve, superficial cardiac plexus, pulmonary trunk, left superior intercostal vein. If anybody is confident, you can unmute and tell me the answer. Previously also I have been asking many questions in this type of transverse cut sections. Yes?
A.
A. Instead of raising hand, you can, because the chat window is closed. Chat window is blocked. So you can unmute and answer. Or if you are not able to answer, so let me tell you, or let me explain you rather. Anybody guessing?
Sir, C, pulmonary trunk.
Who is this?
Sir, Simran.
Okay, Simran. So the answer is pulmonary trunk. Now, to make you revise this, remember T4, T5. Don't forget this junction. This is very important. 11 nahi, balki there are 13 landmarks. There are 13 important structural changes that take place at this level of T4, T5, and that's the level of sternomandibulosternal joint, right? That demarcates superior and inferior mediastinum. So among the different changes, look here, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, it arches the arch of aorta. An arch of aorta is the content of superior mediastinum. So left recurrent laryngeal nerve will not be seen below to T4 segment, below to the transverse plane, it will be seen in T4 segment, cut section. T4 or T3 section may be left recurrent nerve milegi, because here we are talking is about T5. T5 means we are talking at the upper level of the body of sternum. So superficial cardiac plexus, it lies deep and below to the arch of aorta. So again, this will be seen at T4 level. Pulmonary trunk, look here now, pulmonary trunk divides into its two terminal branches, means right and left pulmonary arteries, just below to the plane of the sternal angle. That means pulmonary trunk bifurcates at the level of T5. Okay, so pulmonary trunk you will find actually branching, you can say to some extent it branches into two right and left branches, pulmonary arteries at the level of sternal angle. But यहाँ पे option में pulmonary arteries नहीं है, it's pulmonary trunk, and the pulmonary trunk which you will find in a cut section of T5. Left superior intercostal vein, remember left superior intercostal vein is a tributary of left brachiocephalic vein, right? So remember ये जो esophagus की tributaries होती हैं, on the left side you have 4, 4, 4, right? 4 3s are 12. So upper 4 intercostals, they drain through via the superior intercostal vein into the left brachiocephalic. The middle 4 they form S3 hemiazygous, and the lower 4 on the left side they form hemiazygous. So because it's from the upper 4 tributaries, so left superior intercostal vein is seen as in the superior mediastinum only. So the correct answer is, you can see here, This is the section in the upper view. This diagram here, it's about T4 cut section. This is about T5. This is the 5th thoracic segment, and this is the 4th thoracic. These diagrams actually you are asked to draw in your manuals. That's why. So you should learn these structures passing. So here in this section, you're seeing is the arch of aorta. The choices among your question was left recurrent laryngeal nerve. You can see it here. This is left recurrent laryngeal nerve. There was superficial cardiac plexus, like you can see there's this, no, this is in front of trachea. So this is deep cardiac plexus at the carina, and this is the superficial cardiac plexus, or you can, the deep cardiac nerves, they form the superficial cardiac plexus here. And about yes, intercostal veins, left superior intercostal vein. Can you see here? This is left superior intercostal vein. By the way, right superior intercostal vein drains into azygos.
Azygos, sir.
Okay. ओके सो बाइफरकेशन, ये तो T5 सेगमेंट है, तो T5 में तुम्हें पल्मोनरी ट्रंक दिख रहा है एंड इट्स बीइंग डिवाइडिंग इनटू राइट एंड लेफ्ट पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज. दिस इज हैपनिंग एंड यू कैन सी कि ट्रकिया इज डिवाइडेड ऑलरेडी एंड इट्स टू प्रिंसिपल ब्रोंकस ऑन द टू साइड्स. दिस यू आर रीचिंग डाउन टू द T5 लेवल. ओके, so next question is, upper end of linea simulinaris reaches the tip of which costal cartilage?
So ninth. C.
Okay, ninth is correct. Ninth C. This is about the anterior abdominal wall. You've been taught about the rectus sheath, the lateral boundary of the rectus sheath. The lateral margin of the rectus sheath is called the linea simulinaris. It extends from the pubic tubercle and reaches up to the tip of the ninth costal cartilage. Okay. By the way, in this diagram, can anybody tell me what structure lies deep to this tip of the ninth costal cartilage?
Murphy's point.
Murphy's point. The structure lying down below is the
Gallbladder.
Fundus of gallbladder. Right. Okay, Akash. Next, which of the following muscles does not help in opening the oral fissure? ध्यान से पढ़ो, अच्छे से समझ लो इसको. Which of the following muscles does not help in opening the oral fissure? The options are levator labii superioris alignizai, depressor labii inferioris, mentalis risorius. Which muscle is not helping in opening the oral fissure?
Mentalis, sir.
Sir, depressor labii inferioris.
Okay. और कोई बताएगा? Anyways, correct answer is mentalis. You are correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the correct answer is mentalis. And you know this features, facial expressions बहुत अच्छे से समझ लेना है, आगे चल के बहुत काम आती हैं ये सारी चीजें. If you are planning for go for surgery, plastic surgery, ये सब छोटी छोटी muscles के face expressions का पता होना चाहिए. So remember, mentalis is a muscle which is not merging with orbicularis oculi. Sorry, orbicularis oris. Orbicularis oris is a constrictor muscle of the oral aperture. And all the dilators of the oral fissure, they all merge here. There is a modulus on the two sides of the oral fissure, where all these merge actually into the blend with the fibers of the orbicularis oris. But this muscle, mentalis, does not merges with orbicularis oris. Look here. This muscle is mentalis, right? Mentalis does not reaches and merges with this muscular, constrictor muscle around the oral aperture, and that is orbicularis oris. So all the dilators also, levator levi superior levator levi superioris, levator anguli oris, and depressor levi inferioris, depressor anguli oris, and even the risorius. Remember जो हम toothbrush करते हैं, toothbrush करने में when you show your teeth that way, that feature is formed by risorius. So all these muscles are actually helping you open the oral fissure except mentalis. Mentalis does not merges with the muscles around the oral fissure. Remember, so the mentalis का expression क्या होगा? Who will tell me what is the expression brought about the contraction of mentalis? That expression is called
Doubt.
Yes, very good. Doubt. ये कौन बोला था?
Fascism.
Yes, so mentalis is a muscle for the expression of doubt. Which structure is called hydatid of Morgagni?
Sir, appendix of testis.
सोच लो सारे अपेंडिक्स यहाँ पे तीन सारे रेमिनेंट्स हैं, वेस्टिजियल रेमिनेंट्स. Which structure is called hydatid of Morgagni? Appendix of epididymis.
Appendix of testes.
Appendix of testis, appendix of ovary, epophoron. अच्छा बताओ, appendix of testis किसने बोला था?
Osama.
Appendix of testis. अभी बाद में किसने बोला?
मैंने सर सिमरन.
Are you confident?
Yes, sir.
Appendix of epididymis तो नहीं है?
सब पढ़ा तो
No,
था.
sir.
Okay. So appendix of testis is the correct answer. रट लो अच्छे से. Hydatid of Morgagni is remnant of actually Mullerian duct, and Mullerian duct in other ways is also called paramesonephric duct. Okay. You know अभी I think एक question आया था for me, development of uterus, vagina, and fallopian tubes. There's all being developed from the Mullerian duct that's called paramesonephric duct, right? So in males, what happens? All this thing, is not formed, right? But this paramesonephric duct, which is formed, which is literally placed in the nephrogenic cord. So the cranial portion and the caudal portion, the gonads, they develop from the upper portion opposite to the lumbar vertebrae. So, and this, primitive urogenital sinus, from where this, urinary bladder as well as vesico-urethric canal, the upper segment of this primitive urogenital sinus that forms the urinary bladder and the prostatic urethra. That must have been taught to you. So what happens is, like, all this thing degenerates in males, right? But the upper end and the lower end of the paramesonephric duct persists in the form of these two remnants. Remember that the cranial remnant of paramesonephric duct is called appendix of testis, while the caudal remnant, because the caudally, the two ducts, paramesonephric duct, they fuse to form uterus and upper 1/3 of vagina, right? And they merge here into the posterior aspect of the prostatic urethra. So posterior aspect of the prostatic urethra may you find in males is a developmental remnant of Mullerian duct that is called prostatic utricle. So prostatic utricle in males is said to be homologous to vagina, or lower end. Basically vagina you prefer calling because it's a lowermost extent of the paramesonephric duct, upper 1/3, and that's the remains there, persists there in the males at the posterior aspect of the prostatic urethra. So these are the two remnants. This is the cranial, because actually testis descend down, right? तो ये भी थोड़ा सा confusion है. याद रखना कि ये जो paramesonephric duct है, जब ये testis was in its position, right? So it was like, ये upper pole पे ही रहता है. तो ये पूछा जा सकता है कि where do you find actually this hydatid Morgagni? It's actually at the upper pole of the testis, and it descends same way, right? सीधे सीधे नीचे आ जाता है. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि उलट जाएगा, सेम पोजीशन में रहेगा. तो appendix of testis is and prosthetic utricle. This is cranial. This is caudal remnant of paramesonephric duct, also called Mullerian duct. Okay. Last question here. Regarding the peroneal artery, which of the following statement is correct? It is the largest branch of popliteal artery. It begins 2.5 centimeter above the lower border of popliteus. In its course, it is accompanied by the nerve to flexor hallucis longus. It terminates in the sole in the form of lateral plantar artery. Which statement about peroneal artery is correct? कौन बताएगा?
Sir, it terminate in the sole in the form of lateral plantar artery.
Yes, sir. D.
और कौन बोल रहा है?
Sir, Osama. D.
और कोई options बोल? I mean, anybody with different answer? कोई बताएगा?
सर बी में डाउट लग रहा है थोड़ा सा।
B. Begins 2.5.
Yes, sir.
एक चांस और, कोई और किसी को बोलना है तो बता दे। फाइनली हम कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं।
सर ऑप्शन सी।
SSC. Who is this? B कौन बोल रहा है? Anyways, जिसने भी बोला है, आंसर C is the correct answer. Now look here. पहले तो थोड़ी सी बातें इसमें, जो MCQ करने का पर्पस ये होता है, should revise those topics, all the relevant information given there. So it's the largest branch of popliteal artery is the wrong answer, because popliteal artery divides into two terminal branches, anterior and posterior tibial arteries only. And the posterior tibial artery is the larger terminal branch of, or the continuation of popliteal artery in the back of leg. Clear? And peroneal artery is the largest and the longest branch of posterior
tibial
artery. Okay. Then remember that popliteal artery divides into two terminal branches at the level of lower border of popliteus. याद रखना, ये जो popliteal fossa होता है, यहाँ पे तुम्हें popliteal artery दिखती है. And popliteal artery descends down in the back of leg and it divides at the lower border of popliteus into anterior and posterior tibial arteries. जिसमें क्या होता है? Then anterior tibial artery crosses this, upper limit of interosseous membrane and reaches into the front of leg, while posterior tibial artery continues in the back of leg, right? Then D choice क्या कह रही है? It terminates in the sole to form the lateral plantar artery. You know what enters into the sole? It's from the medial, behind to the medial malleolus. There is this flexor retinaculum, and that's a gateway to the sole. So, except peroneus longus, all the tendons, nerves, and vessels, they reach into the sole through the flexor retinaculum, and it's this posterior tibial artery that divides into median and lateral plantar artery. Where does it divide? Within the flexor retinaculum, right?
Yes, sir.
Even the tibial nerve divides into medial and lateral plantar nerves within the retinaculum, right?
Yes, sir.
So it means the lateral plantar artery is a terminal branch of posterior tibial artery. So the answer is that it is, actually now it's better. Now you see the diagram, that this is the popliteal artery. Here you seeing is popliteus, right? So popliteus at its lower border, you can see, after you can see ये जो soleus का origin है, So it crosses this lower border poplite, it is divided into two arteries. Anterior will go in the anterior compartment, while they have shown is the posterior compartment of the leg. So here you seeing is this posterior tibial artery, and it's giving its lateral branch called the fibular artery. Remember, this artery, fibular artery, also called peroneal artery, this will perforate the interosseous membrane at the lower 1/3 or the lower 1/4 of the interosseous membrane and will reach into the front of leg. Anyways, so fibular artery के बारे में बात हो रही है. That remember that when fibular means it's an artery running in laterally into the back of leg, and laterally what bone is there? That is fibula. So which deep muscle takes origin from fibula? It is flexor hallucis longus. You know, I've been telling you about the crossing of the muscles. You know, this supplies the medial toe, but its origin is lateral in the back of leg, while flexor digitorum longus supplies the laterally placed toes in the leg, but its origin is from the medial bone in the back of leg, that is tibia. So that's why there will be crossing of the two tendons. And where was this crossing happening? Below to the spring ligament, right? To reinforce the strength of the spring ligament. So just to tell you that fibular artery will accompany the nerve to flexor hallucis longus. And what you can see here, it is this tibial nerve, and this tibial nerve gives a branch here to this flexor hallucis longus, right? And what is so the peroneal artery will run along with the nerve to flexor hallucis longus. That's the course of peroneal or fibular artery. एक बार देख लो इसमें क्या लिखा है. Its course is accompanied by nerve to flexor hallucis longus. Okay, so there it is done.
Got it, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you for listening, although it was tiring. Anyways, so you can give your attendance, everybody. I'm leaving.
Thank you, sir.